The SS Ourang Medan, also known as the ghost ship of Borneo, is one of the most mysterious maritime mysteries that has never been solved to this day. It was on the 6th of July in 1947 when an oil tanker called the British Empire was sailing in the Java Sea near Indonesia. The ship was sailing from the port of Semarang in Java to Manila in the Philippines. There were 25 crew members on board the ship, but they had 13 Chinese passengers as well, who had apparently boarded the ship in Singapore. These 13 people had reportedly paid for first-class passage in advance, but no one knew who they were or where they were headed to. When the ship reached the waters of Borneo on July, they received a message from the captain of the nearby Dutch ship named the Sibyl that there was another ship floating around in the waters with no crew members on board. He said that he had tried flagging the ship down, but no one had responded to him. He had even shot a flare into the air to alert the ship, but still there was no response. The captain said that he would go ahead and investigate it himself. Meanwhile, the British Empire arrived at the port of Manila safely. However, they found out that there was a missing person. One of their crew members was missing, and his name was John Robinson. The captain searched everywhere for him, but there was no sign of John anywhere. They didn't think much of it until 3 days later. On the 9th of July, the ship's cook prepared breakfast for the crew, but he made an interesting observation. One of the plates had food already placed on it, but no one had eaten it. The food was cold, and there was a full set of cutlery with the plate. No one had touched the plate overnight, and they were perplexed by this. A few days after this incident, all hell broke loose. On July, around 10 a.m., the first mate, Captain Alfred Homer, and 2 other crew members went out to investigate what was in the hold of the ship. When they opened the door and they stepped inside, they saw something that left them petrified. Inside the hold of the ship were 9 bodies. 8 of them were male and 1 was female. They were all Chinese men. They quickly went out and informed everyone about what they had seen. But while they were investigating the hold, the ship suddenly started to list dangerously to one side. Water started pouring into the ship, and soon the entire ship was in peril of sinking. All the crew members were busy trying to save themselves and the ship, and no one paid attention to the dead bodies in the hold. Luckily, the captain managed to turn the ship around so that the hole in it was facing downwards. This meant that the water started pouring out of the ship, and the ship was saved from sinking. But now their biggest problem was dealing with those dead bodies. But before we move further into the video, please take a moment to show your support if you haven't already done so. It really helps us grow and motivates us to keep bringing more videos like this to you. Thank you. The captain immediately ordered that the bodies be thrown into the sea. But when the sailors went to the hold again to retrieve the bodies, they found out that all the bodies had vanished. Where the dead bodies were lying just a few moments ago, now there was nothing but a pile of clothes. And if you think that this is where the story ends, then you're very wrong, because it gets scarier as we move forward. As night fell on the ship, strange things started happening all over the ship. People heard chains dragging metal moans and screams. Some of the crew members even saw ghostly figures roaming around the ship. One of the crew members was shaving in the bathroom when the lights went off. He could hear someone humming a Chinese tune right outside the bathroom door. Then he started hearing footsteps coming towards the door. He waited in the pitch-black bathroom for a while until he heard the footsteps going away. When the ship was only 18 nautical miles away from the port, the captain was woken up in the middle of the night by loud groans and moans. He could feel the ship suddenly drop as if something heavy had fallen into the water below. When he got up on the deck, he could see the cargo ship looming above them. As the night progressed, the screams grew louder and more frequent. Many crew members claimed to have seen ghosts on board the ship, including the captain. They also felt the ship dropping into the water violently. But when they checked the next morning, they found no damage to the ship at all. The first mate and the captain both sent messages to the nearby ships, asking them to come to their location. They wanted help in rescuing the ghost ship. But the other ships only replied to them through Morse code, saying that they could not see anything in the dark. By the time the sun rose, the ghostly moans and screams had stopped and everything was quiet. The captain hoped that it was all a dream, but he could see that the ship had now developed a huge list. The ship was tilting dangerously to one side, and water was continuously pouring into the ship. They needed to do something to save themselves. The captain immediately contacted the port authorities and asked them to send ships to their location as soon as possible. But before anyone could reach them, the ship sank beneath the waves, taking the lives of 25 crew members. Only 13 survived. Now comes the most intriguing part of the story. After the ship sank, the survivors were rescued by the nearby vessels, and when the people of Manila learned that there were dead bodies on board the ship, they refused to let the survivors disembark. The survivors were forced to stay on the rescue ship for many days as the people of Manila refused to accept the bodies. When the officials finally agreed to take the bodies off their hands, none of the relatives came forward to claim them. To this day, no one knows who these Chinese people were or why they were killed. We know that the ship had left Singapore, but no one knows where it was headed to. Also, the ship had traveled to Indonesia, not the Philippines. So why were the dead bodies left on the ship? Some people believed that the ship was carrying illegal goods, and when the captain found out about it, he decided to sail to the open seas with the bodies to avoid getting caught. But then the ship sprang a leak and started to sink. Others believed that the ship was actually headed to the Philippines, and when the people on the shore saw the ship approaching them, they thought that it was full of dead bodies. That's why they asked the ship to keep sailing. There are some theories that the bodies were most likely not Chinese at all. Instead, they were most probably Japanese. Many Japanese soldiers died in the Second World War, and many of their bodies were never recovered. It's possible that these dead bodies were Japanese soldiers who were killed during the war. Then why were the crew members killed too? Was it some sort of sacrifice? Well, there's a creepy rumor about this as well. Apparently, when the survivors were rescued, they told the people that the reason the captain and the crew members were killed was because he had angered the gods. What had the captain done to anger the gods? Well, supposedly the captain had planned to sail the ship back to Europe, but when he found out about the bodies on board the ship, he changed his course to Manila. This angered the gods, and that's why he and his crew members were killed. But then again, these are just theories, and we may never find out the truth behind the Ourang Medan. What do you think happened to the Ourang Medan, and why do you think the captain and the crew members were killed? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, this helps my channel grow. And be sure to check out these other videos as well.